Every fall and winter when it gets really cold outside, I am always trying to grow indoors. And what if you don't have a backyard? Maybe you just have an apartment and we always want to be growing veggies. Never fear, because I'm always messing with hydroponic and hydroponic systems. Luckily, this video is sponsored by LetGo because they have a hydroponic system that's different from everybody else's, and it really piqued my interest, and definitely I am curious. Want to know why? It's a smart system. Let's go. What's going on, my plant peoples? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a form of mental health therapy, and I cannot wait to open this up and start this hydroponic system. Now, this one particularly is a 4-in-1, so I am very curious to know how that 4-in-1 is going to work. Imagine if it's like for people like me who just, don't have time or forget, don't pay attention to their plants. Ooh, looking schmancy, looking schmancy. This is nice. Like, just visually speaking, oof, this one is nice, really nice. Wow, they give you a lot of detailed instructions, and I'll let you know that that is a really good thing. I gotta say, from an ADHD perspective, that whoa, it can be a little daunting, the instructions. Each one of these is calling for 100 ml. So what I'm gonna be doing is filling this up with 100 ml of water. And it just looks like it's got a bunch of tablets in here. So this is 100 ml of water, and we're gonna be, I'm gonna need, okay, so I have 100 ml of water here and a little funnel just to make sure I get it all in. First thing I'm mixing is the nutrients that were provided with the system. What I like about this is that you pre-mix the nutrients and you leave it in the system. And then whenever the plants call for it or want more nutrients, the system will automatically release the nutrients that you put into it. That's what I really enjoy about it. But them instructions. Another thing we gotta do is set up the tubing for the reserve tank. Being that I'm putting this on automatic, that means everything is gonna be done for me. I need to have like some reserve water. All right, so, whoa! What? Oh, that was hot, that was hot. It's the third button. There we go. Whoa, that water just came up. Oh, you hear that? That's loud. Water level? Wow, this is cool. And the third button was the one to set up for the automatic. This right here will automatically suck up water from right in this container through the tubing. And that's the, that's the sound that we heard from before. I really like this. It makes sense why this one is, a lot more pricier than the other one, but it has so many more features. And this is quite frankly up my alley, because if I just set it and forget it, and I really forget about it, then there's still water and there's still nutrients going on. And with the light turning on its own and off on its own, I can't complain. This button changes it from veg and herb to flower. Notice this, look. What? Oh, that is so cool. Okay, so that we are on veg and herb because I'm only gonna be growing some lettuce and some leafy greens. Next thing, what is this? This is the automatic thing. Oh, operating, that just turns on and off the pump. Also, if you hold it, that just sets it up on automatic. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the oh look, 69 degrees. So the water temperature is 69 degrees. I'm loving this already. It is telling me a lot of details that I just, was always curious to know. Whoop. I'm just gonna throw 3 in there. I'm not saying all 3 of them are gonna grow, but I can always thin them out. I wanna make sure and guarantee germination. And this really does go tall. This goes a lot taller, so man, I gotta give it to LetPot, yo. This really does work, and this is a lot taller. Wow. Do you see how this is so low? That is telling me that the water level is not. Do you see how the water level is low? We can fix that. That means that this system needs a little bit more water. Being that we have it attached to this, this tube that goes into the machine, we already have water. So all we gotta do is hold the button. And this machine will automatically just fill up itself. Now, I don't know. I thought it would have filled it up on its own. I'm not sure as to why or anything. That's my curious question. But it didn't take much because all I had to do was touch a button and that was it. And you see how that went up already. And this really does go tall. This goes a lot taller, so yeah, I'm really liking this. Okay, I already put the seeds inside of it. Got the cap on just for added humidity. I'm probably going to cover these with something later on because I don't want no algae going into it. And let's watch it.
3 weeks later.
It's been like 18 days, so we're going to go over the good things and we're going to go over the not so good things. The good things, number one, is this machine is really pretty much self-sufficient. I mean, I don't really have to worry about the water too much. The system has this tube connected to the water jug that I have on the bottom, so it does kind of like suck it up when it needs to. I believe that the most that we would have to do is just push a button. And if you can't push a button, then come on. Then we need to work on ourselves to be more aware that we have a machine that does call our needs. This is just how it is. Not everything is completely set it and forget it. This is where mindfulness comes in, paying attention, being observant, being aware of your machine, because it's just how it is. And it shows you that it needs water. So it's not like you have to go do anything extra. The most you can do is push a button. So that's still pretty darn easy and is easy for me in my book. The next thing I like about it is that once you do the original setup with your nutrients, you really don't have to worry about it until it needs nutrients all over again. So again, I love that set it and forget it kind of deal. Well, remember, we're not completely setting and forgetting it, but we are doing it enough where we can walk away for a few days and, not worry so much. Another thing I really like about it is that it gives you the water temperature. You'll be surprised that, water temperature does play a factor. You can shock your plants if your water is too cold, and you could definitely kill your plants if it's too hot. So I do like the temperature thing. Another thing that I do like about it is the fact that you can switch from flowering light to regular veg state. Now that is an awesome thing. The other system that I have that I did a review on did not have that option. It was just one sole, light. The previous system from a different company did not have this option. This option is awesome because you can switch between fruiting and regular growth stage of your grow lights on the system. That is amazing. I personally love that as an option because, there are things that you're going to be growing that does not require flowering. Maybe you're just growing leafy greens. You don't need the flower. So imagine that. I really like that system. Another thing that I really do love about it is the fact that it's got the operating, the pump, the circulating pump. You can turn off the pump if you want to, but you can leave it on. I leave it as an operating pump and let it just keep flowing whenever it does. But the option is there. That's what I love about that. I mean, there are a lot of pros. Don't get it twisted. There are a lot of pros. There may be some not so good stuff about it, but I want to say that the pros outweigh the cons. I mean, there's a lot of options and there's a lot of information on this that can really help out your plants. But there are some drawbacks. There comes the cons. One, and this con, the first one, is not that bad. It really isn't. This is not a deal breaker or anything like that. When you're lifting this grow light right here, you got to hold on to the base. That's about it. Okay, because if you're lifting the grow light without the base, the whole thing will come off. It's happened to me. So just letting you know that. So you would hold on to this and then lift. But that's not a big thing, big deal. Another issue I've encountered is the Wi-Fi. Now, it's supposed to be connecting to your cell phone. If you all you gotta do is download the app. The only problem is that it was not connecting to my Android device. Now, I've had this problem with other not necessarily systems, but other parts, pieces of technology that had an issue connecting with my Android. It did not have a problem connecting to an iPhone. So keep that information in mind. I do not know if they're going to be fixing this or anything like that, but I had a problem with connecting my phone, Android device, to this. So I could not even open, really use the app. So that is a con. If you have an iPhone, you have most likely a better chance of connecting to this if you were, rather than an Android user. Another thing that I really, which is the main, two things I got. One is the instructions. The other instructions are not clear. not clear at all. They really got to work on their instructions. They're vague. Now, if you are, you can pick up, simple, direct information with not a lot of extra context, you all right. You good to go. However, I need a lot of context. I need a lot of explaining to get this going. And I did not find explanation in here. So you may get your frustration levels tested with this, because I know my levels of frustration was definitely tested with this because the instructions were not clear. I need clear instructions. If you don't need clear instructions, then you're good to go. You can just hit the buttons and then you'll figure it out. But for me, it was a pain in the butt. I did figure it out though, so it's not impossible. Then again, this is probably where we need the patience to really, really put in the effort to make the system work. This last con is gotta be the biggest one. The biggest one. Now, LetPot, if you fix this or you're in beta stage where you're just testing out the systems and you're gonna, work on some of these kinks and stuff, then I would really suggest working on this lighting, the timer system. Is this military time? I don't know, because it's not clear in the instruction manual. And even if it did, it wasn't clear. This goes off of military time, I think, and it's not a full 24 hours because I tried that, and the timing is off. I don't know what's up with the timing. And that was a major one for me, was the timer. I don't have to come down and go rush to turn on my light system if I don't have to. That was the thing that I was really, really concentrated on. So if anybody knows any information about the timer, let me know down in the comments below, because other than the timer and all the other little cons, it's a good system. So LetPot, if you can figure out this timing thing, great, because that would really just complete it. And and better instructions, bro. Well, overall, it's still a good system. It's not a cheap system because remember, it's a smart hydroponic system. So you're talking at least $300 for this. This is not cheap. However, it does do a lot of good things for you. Most of these cons are not deal breakers. Like the lights you have to hold on to, lift up, that's not a big deal. The vague instructions, that's really only applies to setup. The Wi-Fi, if you have an iPhone, then you're good. If you have an Apple, then you're all right. You probably will not run into this problem. But the timer, that one is a big one for me, is the timing. So if LetPot, if you can figure out the timing of this machine, that would be awesome. That would really complete the entire system. Now, if I'm doing this wrong, then I'm doing this wrong, and then it's on me. It's not on anybody else. And I can understand that. But this is why it's my perspective and my opinion about it. But other than that, I think it's a good system. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good information out of it. I'm going to drop a link to LetPot's website down below. You can always go check that out. I really do like this system. It has a few kinks in it, but it's not exactly a deal breaker. The timing really needs to get worked on a lot. But aside from that, I think everything else works pretty good. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever been to the website? Have you ever seen any other, smart system out there? Let a gal know. If you did enjoy this video and you want to show me some love, don't forget to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Also, you can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok, because I'm documenting my sobriety journey there. Until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both are going to be growing our happiness one plant at a time, one day at a time. I'll check y'all later in the next episode. Peace and love.